Live from KTIV, this is SportsFource Extra.
Welcome back, folks, to a postseason edition of SportsFource Extra. I'm Jason Mullen, alongside everyone's favorite Nebraskan, Irvin Doman. We're bringing you some of the best playoff action that Siouxland had to offer. Actually, every game except for one is a postseason game we have tonight.
Great numbers, and postseason pandemonium was breaking out all over the place. But we're going to start in my favorite state over in Nebraska, as the undefeated Lady Warriors of Crofton were looking to continue their season.
Yeah, that's right. We begin with those undefeated Crofton Warriors. They begin their postseason march in a matchup against Hartington Newcastle. So, let's get right into this thing. The Wildcats taking on the Lady Warriors. Those Cats wouldn't make it easy, though. Madeline Steffen drives in, gets the crazy shot to fall down low. How about that? Tell you what, she wouldn't be done yet. Steffen on the attack again. Actually, she would be done. This time she misses. Olivia Grutch is right there for the board. She gets the second chance shot to go. Lady Warriors looking for an answer as they trail at half. Caitlin Gunther gets the big board off the miss, goes right back up with it and gets it to fall. Later on, Warriors attacking the bucket. First shot is off, but we get another offensive board. This time, Ellie Tramp corrals it, gets it to Lexi Wiebelhaus, who lays it in. Crofton wins 51-27. Irvin?
And we're going to stay in Crofton for Hartington Cedar Catholic against Ponca. Now the Indians, they're going to try to spark some offense, but this full court press by the Trojans leads to an easy steal by Aniston Wortman. She lays it up and in for the deuce. Now Ponca actually getting into an offensive set this time, and they work it inside to Lily Korth, who puts up the tough shot, but it falls through the net for the Indians. Now Cedar Catholic, they're working on crashing the glass, and again, it's going to be Aniston Wortman coming up with the ball, and she gets the mid-range J to fall for another 2 points. Now again, Ponca, they're looking for an answer, and again, it's going to be Korth getting this shot to fall over the tough defense, but Cedar Catholic would go on to win 55-36. Now over in Wynot, where they hosted their sub-districts, the Blue Devils battling the Vikings of Wausau. It's an early mid-range J for Kinsley Hymas that gets the ball rolling for the Blue Devils of Wynot. Now they're working in transition, and it's going to be Myra Sudbeck. She's going to push the pace and get it up to Kayla Pinkelman, who's going to finish at the rack. And Jason, this next play, the Vikings forget to guard the most important person on the inbounds.
That would be the inbounder, folks.
Absolutely. This time, Allison Weissler drills the corner three because nobody guarded, got the lucky bounce right there, the shooter's bounce, I should call it. Vikings looking for an answer, and they get it courtesy of Taylor Dawson as the assist goes to Olivia Barta, but Wynot would go on and advance with a 61-28 victory. Now the second matchup in Wynot, Humphrey St. Francis taking on Howells Dodge. Flyers getting the ball rolling early. The start of the third, Isabel Preister misses, but she follows her shot, gets the next shot attempt to go. And again, this time it's going to be Preister working off ball. Nyla Kessler waiting patiently, finds her in stride as Preister works her way to the hole and gets that one to fall. And the Flyers keep flying in with all these scores. They keep it rolling this time. Jada Krings uses the pump to fly past the defender and put that one up and in as the Flyers win 48-41.
Hey, good action in Nebraska. Move into Iowa, where Logan Magnolia is taking on Westwood. Rebels on their own turf. Top of the game here, Rebels Kate Dries dishes to Ashlyn Davis. Davis gets it to go. First 10 points of the game. Later, the Panthers will call back. Brooklyn Lally passes to Olivia Leonard. Leonard gets the double to fall there, and they trail by 7 now. Rebels not backing down, though. Brenna Johnson dishes to Dries for the corner three. That extends the lead to 13. And again, the Rebels, they would keep it on going. Kaya Williams passes to Johnson, who hits from the top of the key. And Westwood goes on to win this one 55-22.
Now over in Tri-Center, taking on West Monona, starting right into the third. The Spartans, Sakana Lucas goes for the shot, and Casey Miller is right there for the rebound, keeping their lead by 7. Over to the fourth now. Tri-Center starts creeping up when Alexis Flaharty dishes to Quincy Schneckelkloff. That's an interesting name. Sorry if I messed that up. She gets the layup. Later on, Tri-Center's Schneckelkloff, I think I did better that time, passes to Isaiah Vanderstol, who gets it to go. Now, but they trail by 9, and the Spartans will finish strong when Kaylee Gosler, she punches it to Lucas, who gets the 2 points, and West Monona goes on to win 56-41. Now the girls varsity game for the NVAO COU Rams versus the Ridgeview Raptors.
Raptors.
Yeah, so you got a little confusing right there. That's a bucket right there by Madison Stallwater. And we keep it moving here as we have
That's Reagan Suchins with a corner
right
three there for the Rams. Keep this one on going. Finish out the quarter. Faith free. Season opening for Claire Wandry. Wandry puts the 2 points in. But Rams, they pick up the win in this one. 67-43. Head on over to Kingsley. KPRV hosting Alta Aurelia. Start off in the third quarter. Panthers look inside to Addie Foster. And tell you what, Foster's looking for anything. She doesn't find an imaginary friend, though. She finds Ada Pratt, who tickles the twine for the deep two. Warriors looking to respond. JC de I Am Groot drives in and finishes through the contact for the and one bucket. Later on, off the rebound here, Sydney Duskett corrals it, and she will rifle a cross-court pass to Foster, who finishes for two. Still in the third quarter of this one, Duskett leading the break. She'll take it in herself, and hey, you know what? Late banking hours tonight in Kingsley. That goes in. Panthers win 70-46. In Remsen, the Hawks of Remsen St. Mary's taking on Boyden Hull. Pick up late first quarter. This shot's offline. Comets pick up the rebound, though, after it's saved. Couple passes later here, and Aubrey Mara would bury a triple. That keeps the Comets in this one. Second quarter here, Carmody Ricky picks off the pass, lobs it ahead to Maya Bunkers, and the senior finishes through contact to make it a 9-point ball game. Defense, it turns to offense once again. This time it's Whitney Jensen coming up with the steal, heading for the hole, and two more to the Hawks lead. Tell you what, Jensen, just a little bit of a hot hand early. RSM, they feed her once again down low. Senior takes a couple dribbles to the middle before finishing once more. Remsen St. Mary's wins 70-22. Wrap up our high school coverage with a regular season matchup. Dakota Valley hosting Sioux City West. Pick up third quarter. Shamar Harrell drives. He can't get it to go, but Colin Abelson is there with the grab and the putback. That'll cut into the deficit. Now let me apologize to Jackson Winger, because right after this I missed his dunk, but this finish right here, that's still very impressive. I don't know how the big fella stayed on his feet while increasing the lead for the Panthers. Fourth quarter now, West gets the ball to DeVary Crafted. He splashes home the triple. Later on here, DV fan favorite Dylan Lucan gets the steal, heads up court. Now Dylan runs into some trouble here, but he gets the ball to Luke Adamon. Folks, it was raining threes in North Sioux tonight. Panthers hit the century mark. They win 101-68.
We're the Crofton Warrior student section.
We're SportsFource Extra, and we'll be right back.